Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the CORE Racing Network. Tonight, the CORE Xfinity Series heads to the 2.5-mile quad oval, I guess you want to call it. I'm not sure. It's not really the quad oval that you're thinking, but it is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Certainly a unique track here with 4 corners and not really much banking. Only 9 degrees of banking in each of the corners, but obviously the famed yard of bricks here is it's one of the most famous tracks in the world. And these guys get to handle 50 laps here with the Xfinity cars, so certainly looking forward to that one. Carl Lamrick in the booth, joined by Jimmy Covert. And Jimmy, I mean, Indy is just a historic and just fun track, no matter what kind of cars are running on it.
Yeah, it's unique. So obviously you talked about the 4 corners of the quad oval. I mean, it's just a lunchbox. I mean, get out there, have yourself a good time, and you just have to, work these cars through the corners independently, each one, and they all drive a little bit differently, even though only with the minimal amount of banking. But the entrance and exit for each corner, instead of combining the 2 into 1, you really got to separate these out as kind of like little short shoots in between the corners. But very well, looking forward to this great race here at Indy tonight.
A little bit toasty out here for the boys, as it's 108 degrees here out here in Indy. So it is it's baking.
Who set that up?
Well, I mean, well, actually, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm getting confused now because I see 82 degrees and I see 108 degrees. I'm assuming the track temperature is 108 degrees. So, yeah, should be nice and toasty for these guys out there. I mean, plenty of grip, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, plenty of grip with a 97-degree track, Carl. I mean, it's not too hot. But hot enough that these tires are going to get warmed up with all that pressure they're going to be putting on that front right. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a tire saving game along with some fuel saving, and obviously who could stay out of trouble and keep these cars going around this track here tonight.
Well, we're going to bring in the top 3, actually 2 of the top 3, as Kelly Pointer not here tonight, but we'll bring in your winner last week and 3rd place. Once we see that they're completed with qualifying, we won't mess them up in qualifying here. But in the meantime, we'll bring up the current standings, and we've got a tight battle, at least for the top and the gold. Right now, being held by Cody Hemingway, 3rd place last week. He's got a 1-point lead over Dakota Camper, 6 points back to Josh Klinger, and those guys all in the Platinum Gold division. Silver division, your winner last week, Kevin Foster, heads that division by 41 over Galen Wunsch. David Topher back there, 54 points. And then in the bronze division, still Caleb Collins at the top there, 40 points over Al Letkins and 41 over Tyler Kokeko. Jimmy, we are getting towards the kind of the end of the season. We're in the back half of the schedule right now, and just a few races left. So, I mean, is it go time now? Like, if you're going to get in the points battle, you need to kind of get within probably, 10, 15 points of the leader?
I mean, if you're waiting until now to start go time for a championship, you probably got the wrong line of thinking. As it takes the whole season to win. When you're a winner can win a championship on your worst nights, and if you're a little bit right. If you're that close and you need to step up your game, you might want to think about some things that might have been a hindrance to you from the start. Whether maybe it's pit entries or pit exits, or just getting in your pit backs, or being not being patient on the track and making moves that's getting your cars up into an accident. So some of those things that you should reflect on and look about the rest of the season and see if you can turn around and maybe get those extra couple points for yourself to get a good championship run here for the rest of the season.
I'm ready to hop out of the booth and head down to this golf course here that we keep looking at here in the blimp view here in the infield of Indy. But yeah, I mean, a lot of guys looking forward to Indianapolis. Again, it's a unique track, but it's fast. There's a lot of drafting. There's a lot of chances at passing. Not really going to be the case next week. Sonoma is now on the very clear horizon, and I know there's probably 2 or 3 drivers max that are actually looking forward to Sonoma, that are maybe road course specialists they're looking forward to putting a good run in there. But I mean, that is going to be a deal breaker for I think a lot of guys' championship hopes. Certainly need to put in some practice out there at Sonoma. And then Richmond and Kansas finishing out the year. I mean, Richmond not exactly easy either, and you're really going to want to have some good track position through qualifying, and then Kansas, kind of the unofficial home of CORE, certainly going to be a good finale right there. But these guys, looks like they're just about finished with qualifying, so we'll go ahead and bring them in here. The first one we're going to bring in is third place finisher last week, and that is Cody Hemingway, driver of the 69. Cody, you find yourself now atop the standings. You are now the points leader by a huge 1-point lead. So obviously third place last week ended up paying off pretty well for you. How do you feel about tonight? It looks like you're already running pretty hot.
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight. Definitely nervous. It's a close points battle here, and but yeah, excited nonetheless. Put a lot of practice into this track. I really like this track, so just got to take care of the right front.
So coming to the back end of the schedule here, we got 4 races left. Obviously, Indy is one where you can kind of spread out a little bit, and it should be easier passing if you're a faster car because you get to utilize the draft, but certainly not going to be the case with the last 3 races. So is this kind of the last one that you're going to be looking in the mirrors as much as compared to the last couple?
A little bit, yeah. I think these next 2, this one I'm excited for, and then actually Sonoma I'm really excited for, just because I like road racing. I'm not that good at it, but I enjoy it. I just gotta, take care of the rear tires on that track. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next 2 races, and then, Richmond's kind of, I don't know, we'll see.
Yep, well said.
Trick, baby.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on the pole here. Looks like you're going to be starting the pole here tonight. So I want to send a congrats to that, and a congrats for your third place last week and grabbing that points lead. Before we let you get out there to the track, anybody want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Just for being awesome, and my daughter for being awesome as well, and excited to get this underway.
All right, well, we'll let you get to it, and good luck out there tonight.
Thank you so much.
That is driver of the 69, Cody Hemingway, third place last week. Now we'll bring in your winner from last week and the man that is on top of the silver division point standings, Kevin Foster. Kevin, you find your way back into victory lane last week, and it's been a pretty good season here for you in the CORE Xfinity Series. Looking to grab another one here, already starting on the front row.
Yeah, during the qualifying session there, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna qualify P2. I started P2 in my other 2 wins, so maybe starting bridesmaid, taking a page from Chris, starting P2 is where I need to be. So it worked out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we'll wish you good luck out there. But one to bring in here, at least give you a chance. I mean, what's been the feeling? Is it just really liking these Xfinity cars, or what is it that's kind of giving you a nice turnaround this season?
Well, the Xfinity car is my favorite car on this simulator to play, but last season I couldn't even get a top 20. I don't know, but I did change in the off season. I did change my seating position up in my rig here, and it's made all the difference in the world. So I'm just really thankful for that, and most importantly, thankful for all the fans out there and everyone that tunes into CRN every week and gets to watch us do what we do. And I mean, it's been a blast this season. I wish I would have won Texas, but it's all right. We got Sonoma coming up and Indy tonight, and it's going to be a blast. So thanks to everyone out there watching, and we're going to put on the show for you, and hopefully I get to see you in about 50 laps.
All right, well, hopefully we'll get to chat to you after the race, but if in case we don't, anybody want to give a quick shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Big shout out to Barry. Thank you for all the love and support as always. Mama, thank you for watching. My family, my brother, my sister, my wife, and thanks CRN and everyone here in the league. And let's go have some fun.
Absolutely. Well, wish you luck out there, and hopefully we'll talk to you after the race.
All right, thank you guys.
That is the driver of the 8, Kevin Foster, starting P2 here. We'll take a quick rundown through the starting order. Going to be Cody Hemingway on the pole, Kevin Foster in second, Galen Wench, Al Likens, Joe Sullivan, your top 5, David Tilford, Dakota Camper, Sean Dunaway, Connor Gibson, Dylan Picklesimmer, your top 10. Then we got Caleb Collins. Caleb Collins starting 11th, James Hudson in 12th. 13th is going to be Tyler Kokeko. 14th, Matt Crockett, Cody Jacobs, Casey Phelps, Eric Corder, Michael Deach, and Dan Phelps rounding out your 19-car field here. Jimmy, 50 laps. We're about to fire these boys off.
Yeah, far these guys go, and pace car should be coming in here soon. Obviously, it's a long drive down the front stretch in order to get that start going, so we wait for those green lights to fly, and Barney will leave that flag.
And the slowest, they will be going across the yard of bricks right here tonight, and we'll show you the only brakes left here, or the only bricks left here in the track is right there at the start-finish line. But a good start here for your entire field as everybody kind of separating out nicely. And Cody Hemingway is to the front with Kevin Foster, Al Likens, Dave Tilford, and Galen Wentz, your top 5.
Hey, Galen Wentz, with a not so great start there. I think he spun the tires or missed a shift, but good job on the guys behind him checking up and being able to get around without causing any incident as they've been doing. It seemed but yeah, a little mistake there by the 199, but hopefully he'll be able to come back from. We got a long race here tonight.
These guys are already coming around to complete lap number 1, and again, only 4 corners here, a little bit flatter, as we said, less than 10 degrees of banking on the corners, but how much are the tires going to come into play? I mean, you're always kind of thinking about tires regardless, but I mean, how much are these tires really going to mean going through Indy here?
Hey, you mean you're counting on that front right to get that car turned to the left, and it's just one of those tracks where, because it's flat, it really does put a lot of demanding pressure on the front, and you can let it out, and that car will start to tighten up. So they're gonna have to start backing. You'll see, notice the laps times will fall off. They'll be back up the corners, and stuff like that. So we'll see who's pushing those tires early, and you'll probably see them start falling off. I would say anywhere between 5 to 10 laps, depending on how hard they're pushing the car. And then you'll see the ones that decided to save them tires a little bit, maybe work their way up slowly through the field as the traction from the little better tire is going to obviously be a little better to get the grip off the corners and go. But good start here so far as they're single file with Cody Hemingway out front with Kevin Foster, Al Likens, Dave Tilford, and Galen Wentz for your top 5.
So I guess the other kind of thing you need to think about is fuel. I mean, you got Cody Hemingway out front right now leading the pack, but everybody else is still within the draft of the car in front of them, and a big wobble back there. Not sure who that was towards the back of the field. I think it was Eric Porter getting pretty loose coming off the corner, but did save it and getting back going. But as I was saying, the fuel is, I think, gonna kind of really come into play here and be interesting to see when guys come in, because even though this thing isn't a super speedway, it's not Talladega, it's not Daytona, you don't want to come in really by yourself. You do want to come in with a friend or with a couple guys just to get back out there and still have that draft, because it's not like, you're pack racing and you need to be flooring it the entire way around, but that little bit of draft down both long straightaways is a big plus.
Yeah, just a little bit. It doesn't seem like, so at times, it doesn't feel like it does much, but it does. Indy has that kind of super speedway type feel. You have some nice straightaways, and you can really take advantage of just being in that draft, even if it's not like super super speedway-ish, like where they're like pack racing, where they're just nose to tail from the front to the back, even through the corners. Here, obviously, with them having to usually probably maybe drag brake a little bit or let off the gas to get through the corners, they're not going to be able to use that draft like they would at Dega or Daytona. But here, I mean, using the draft on the straightaways will help you save some fuel. Could it be enough for an extra lap? Could it save you? If you're trying to partner with somebody and he's in front of you, you might just end up following him in anyway. So we'll see how much that affects their strategy here. But it does look like Cody Hemingway out to a little bit of a gap here now.
One of the guys that has had a pretty decent season here, coming back here to CORE, has been Dakota Camper. Not exactly a Dakota type qualifying effort here tonight, qualifying back there in 15th, but already up 4 spots, battling now to try and get into the top 10. You see him there on the right side of your screen, battling it with Caleb Collins on the outside. This is the battle for 10th position, so certainly Dakota is going to want to try and make his way up through the field as quick as possible, because these laps do go by fairly quickly. Even though it is a 2.5 mile speedway, you're still clocking in less than a minute a lap right now, about 53 to 54 seconds a lap. So the laps will click off pretty quickly, and you can certainly gain in pit road as we've seen before, but you want to try and get something done on the track as well, but just really having trouble getting around. And it really, it seems like a lot of guys are kind of having trouble making the pass complete. Guys are getting alongside, but just not being able to get around.
Yeah, side drive's big, it gets you a nice front end, but I think the guys, they're not sending it down the corner, and they can't drive the car, like let it float out, or they'll get into the car on the outside that's defending their spot. So the guy down the inside really needs to have the grip. We talked about saving that front right tire. If you don't have that front right to make that turn, you're gonna have to you're not gonna be able to get on the gas. So you just lose that momentum and you're gonna fall back into place, and you might even losing your spot as maybe the guy back behind you is going to your outside that can't keep the momentum as you're kind of stuck in that trap. So pass is going to be a battle here tonight. So if the driver can catch up to you, that's one thing. Getting around is going to be another.
Caleb Collins went from being the one trying to defend 10th position, but he just picks off Dylan Pickleson right there, moves himself up to 9th after he finally kind of slowed down the run there of Dakota Camper, but now he is on the hunt to try and catch back up as we got a couple groups forming here. Cody Hemingway out in front by quite a bit here. He is out there by 1.8 seconds before you get back to this battle now for second, which is between Al Likens on the inside there in the 92, going to make the pass here on Kevin Foster for second place. Now diving in the inside, David Tilver thought about it but backed out. He is going to be back there in fourth. Galen Wench still right there in fifth. Kind of just trying to hang on to the back of this pack is Connor Gibson here in the 31 here in sixth place. Then about 1.2 seconds back here to Joe Sullivan, who's kind of out there by himself as he's got Sean Dunaway about 0.8 of a second behind him, and then that's where you find the rest of the pack another 0.7 of a second back, trying to reel in Dunaway to expand this group once again and give these guys some more opportunities to pass. But out front, Cody Hemingway showing the way and checking out quite a bit here.
Hey, check it out solo. So you're talking about maybe wanting a phone here tonight. Cody's not looking to have any friends here tonight as he's putting a little bit of a beat down here early on. But he could be in that mode where the car just feels good, and he's probably hopefully he's not, but maybe he might be bumping up those times a little more than he wants to. But I'd keep an eye on some of these drivers back here. Al Likens coming up to the field, finally getting around Kevin Foster. Dave Tilford up 2 spots. Connor Gibson up 3. And even Dan Phelps working his way from the back, starting in the back of the pack, but up 3 spots here tonight so far in P16.
Yeah, Cody Hemingway has only 1 win on the season so far out of 6, but he's been Mr. Consistent as he's got 4 top 5s and 5 top 10s out of those 6 races, so that finds him at the top of the standings. Again, Dakota Camper comes into this race 1 point behind him and is back there now finally in the top 10. Trying to work his way up there to kind of damage control, at least at this point for tonight's race. Josh Klinger not in the mix here tonight, as he mentioned he wasn't going to be here, and you really got to wonder where the drop race is going to come into play for some of these guys. Which one, obviously, Klinger going to be dropping this race as a 0, but he has already missed another race. So the fact that he was 6 points behind is not going to be the case again after this race, and could potentially take him out of the title run. The next gold driver is back in 6th in the overall standings. That's Kelly Pointer, and he is also not here tonight. So right now looking really good in the gold standings for Cody Hemingway and even the overall, as the next closest driver in the overall to him is Kevin Foster in 4th, who is obviously leading the silver division. He finds himself in 3rd right now, and we talked about it, qualified 2nd on the night here. Would love to be able to fight this thing all the way to the end for the overall championship, but right now he's fighting for 3rd with Galen Wench, who's starting to find his rhythm here a little bit, and now he's going to move into 3rd.
Yeah, Galen moving back up. He's moving back in that position after that not so well start. Like I said, I don't know if he just missed a gear or misshifted or spun the tires or whatnot early on, but that 199 starting to move back forward. Get back into that P3 spot where he started, and keep an eye out as there's plenty of racing here. We're only on a lap 11 of 50, so plenty of time for that 199 to make a comeback, though.
Side by side back here for again 10th position, and once again we see Caleb Collins on the outside trying to play defense. Kokeko on the inside gets a little bit loose going through turn number 3, but still going to be on the inside there going through 4. It just seems like the inside typically has it's the shorter way around. It's usually the one that's going to be dominant when it comes to driving around here. But that outside line is just getting a good enough drive off of these corners to just be a nuisance and stay in line. And you see right there, Caleb Collins still going to stay in 10th place, and Kokeiko's going to find himself still in 11th. But yeah, plenty of battles all the way through. As you took a look up there, Connor Gibson has caught the back of this pack. So now you got Cody Hemingway in another hemisphere right now, up there in first by 3.25 seconds, but then second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth now joining here in this second pack. And then you got Joe Sullivan just trying his best right there. He's a fishing pole to kind of cast out here and reel these guys back in, but he's trying to do so. He was out there about 1.2 seconds. It's down to just under second right now.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure on the laps per tank here tonight, Carl. I didn't get any chance to get out there and get any laps in, see how many, roughly how many laps these drivers will be. But it's going to be interesting. I think once green flags start, we're going to see which one of these drivers have practiced these pits, how they as you know, it's pretty unique here, obviously, with the multi-corner, box corner, I guess if you want to call it, box oval. I mean, it looks oval on my screen for the most part. But, out there is a little bit different. You definitely have them straightaways in between. So we'll see how the drivers do. And we know pit stops will be coming up here, I'm sure, shortly. I guess probably in the 20-ish, 2025, I'm guessing. Or before that?
I would think probably before that. I think these guys are looking at least 2 pit stops here. And it looks like we might have lost a driver already, Michael Deitch. And did not see what happened to him at all. If there's any kind of incident, but just seeing that he entered pit lane and has not exited since. Maybe he had a bit of a brush with the wall and is getting repairs, but it looks like he is out of the race right now. But other than that, we are 18 strong still here at Indianapolis, and it's got to be getting close to that time where you're thinking about maybe an early pit stop. But if you want to split this thing into threes evenly, it's going to be very soon that you're coming in maybe around like lap 16, lap 17. But you could see these guys trying to stretch it out closer to lap 20. But it is Cody Hemingway out there again, 3-second lead, 4-year leader. But how much is he burning off those tires, I guess is the question, and see if he's going to be able to sustain this thing for the entire run, or if the guys like Galen Wench, who is now moving into second place over Al Likens, can try and run him down. But looks like, speaking of running down, been watching Joe Sullivan here. He has reeled these guys in and now is definitely within the draft. As you see, Connor Gibson making the pass there on David Tilford for 5th.
Yeah, nice and smooth there for Connor being able to make a buy, Dave. So I just you're seeing him kind of come up through the field. So just maybe talking too soon. The 31 has a brush with the wall, so that might hurt that 31 just a little bit. It looked pretty rough from the camera. This camera angle.
Yeah, that looked like a little bit more than a brush there, Jimmy. That looked like a bit of a smack, and it almost looked like the guys behind him of Tilford and Sullivan got very close to kind of following him through the same line there, and obviously it was not a great line exiting the corner, but still driving it straight. Doesn't look it's hurt too bad, as he is still holding off the 12 and the 76 for the time being. But now Tilford looking to the inside, wants that 5th position back and going to take it going into turn 1.
Yeah, he definitely had to take a closer look at his car individually here, Carl. He's got some right front damage. Just tire's not exposed or anything, but he's got some scrapes up near the front tire and back by the rear tire as well. So he slapped the wall pretty hard, able enough to, I guess, not hard enough that he can keep going, but enough that it's probably affected a little bit of aerodynamics on that car. And so I'm sure he will think about coming in the pits here soon, as it's almost that time. But I'm hearing calls for pit entry right now.
You see on the track map as these guys are getting ready for the pits that this is a track that you will see the field start to spread out. You do have the draft to try and keep you there and give you a chance to catch up to guys, but it is certainly a track where if you're using tires too much, you're going to fall back, and vice versa if you can save. As these guys getting it woed down, you see the yellow cones are where they need to get down to the pit road speed. They're very close for some of these guys, but no surprise, Kevin Foster is going to stay out there man that doesn't mind saving a little bit of fuel. He's going to stay out there, David Tilford, and all the way down to 9th place, actually down to 11th place, all staying out here and going around at least one more lap. But your leader and top 3 all came in there, as well as 4 other drivers. So we are starting pit cycle number 1 here, and again right around that 17 mark. So these guys looking to kind of split this thing into thirds. We'll see how far the rest of these guys decide to stretch it out, but it looks like the 8 is slowing down. He's going to make that left-hand turn, and looks like he's bringing just about the rest of the field. We'll see if anybody has any issues. Tilford's weaving back and forth there, but looks like he's going to get slowed down, and doesn't look like too many issues getting in there. But yeah, this is, again, we talked about how much you can gain and lose in pit lane, and this is not the hardest pit lane to get into. I mean, you're completely off the corner. It's a straight shot going in there. You can brake straight. And it's probably, honestly, one of the easiest ones to get into. But that also means you got to try and take advantage as much as possible.
Yeah, the 8 came in, slid to his box. Looks like it's just slightly high, but I had about a half a second hang up. I had to reverse it, kind of beat all 4 of them tires in the blocks in order to come up. But the 8 is down and going out again, just behind the 76 of Sullivan.
Yeah, so certainly losing some spots right there for the 8 of Kevin Foster. Your leader right now, Matt Crockett, has yet to pit. The only one that has yet to pit out there. So I guess we'll keep on it to make sure he does make it back to pit lane, as everybody has come in up to this point. And the 10 stretching this thing out for an extra lap. He was back towards the back of the pack, so certainly was most likely saving the entire first run. And he is going to come around turn 4, bring it in, and get some 4 tires and fuel on that Liquid Death number 10 machine. But back out to the lead is going to be the man coming around right now, Cody Hemingway in the 69, and he's got an even bigger lead now after this pit cycle goes through, as it is out to, I believe, a 5.6 second lead over Galen Lynch in second. And Jimmy, I mean, it's not, you know, it's too early to put it in cruise control, but I mean, Cody's putting the hammer down here tonight.
I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. So I mean, he's got good speed on the track. He's able to pull away from the field by himself with no draft. The only thing that's really hurting him is obviously the pit strategy, using more fuel. So he did come in. He was one of the first cars to come in. So you really got to watch that window, as he's really pushing it for a 50-lap race to come in on lap 17. So it's going to be a close one, and you might need to, and eventually have to use a little bit of that time that he has out to a nice lead here as a buffer to do some fuel saving. But he's out to a 5-second gap over Galen Lynch there in the 199. So Galen having a fantastic pit stop, to capitalize on the mistake of the 8. And Tilford also having a good pit stop as well, putting him in P number 3, and it's the 4th is Joe Sullivan. Kevin Foster falls back to 5th. Caleb Collins in 6th. Connor Gibson's in 7th. Dakota Camper is now in 8th. Sean Dunaway's in 9th. And James Hudson's in 10th. Dan Phelps up 8 spots in P11. Tyler Kokeko is in 12th. Eric Quarters in 13th. Dylan Picklesmeyer's in 14th. Casey Phelps in 15th. Jacob Cody. Cody Jacobs in 16th, Matt Crockett's in 17th, and Al Likens are in 18th, and hopefully we'll see Mike Dietrich out next week, but right currently in P19, so good luck to all the drivers out there as well. So, but good one so far, Carl. We're working on that halfway mark coming up here soon.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that some of the fans out there might notice, Al Likens was in 3rd place in that pit cycle. Had to come back in the pits. Not sure if it was. It looks like it's some kind of penalty, whether it was speeding on exit, whether it was unsafe exit. He had to come back in the pits and serve a penalty. So he is now down a lap to the field. Is the only car 1 lap down, so he would be able to get that lucky dog if it were to come out here. But real tough break there for the 92 team, as he was running up there in the top 3. But Cody Hemingway showing the way right now. Good little battle right there after these guys got back going here between Sullivan, Foster, and Collins. Collins getting to the wall pretty good there amongst the battle, and not sure if it's damaged the car, but he's certainly falling back from this field, as field getting spread out here, and this battle right here is the closest, other than Dan Phelps back here. And Jimmy mentioned it earlier. The man is up 8 positions here from the start. Starting back in shotgun on the field, 19th position, up 8 spots, looking to try and move himself inside the top 10 with a pass here on Sean Dunaway. So a great early run here for the 85 team, as he's missing his Pointer sister there with Kelly Pointer not being here in the field tonight, but doing good and repping the Pointer Motorsports here while he's gone.
He's got to have a big move, or, might as well start for the back, show him how it's really done. But Dan Phelps doing a fantastic job, obviously, starting in the back. A lot of times you see, Kelly Pointer out front, Dan Phelps in the back, and I think it's just Dan's kind of style driving. He's very conservative, and he's very consistent, and he's had some really good runs, and I think that's just where he feels comfortable around everybody at the moment. And right now he's found his way on the track, able to move up 9 spots, so having a good pit stop, being consistent, and made his way up to that P number 10 spot, and we'll see how he finishes up tonight. But I want to be surprised if he makes another spot or 2 before the night is over.
Yeah, I mean, having a pretty good season altogether. Dan's certainly, I think, turning a bit of a corner here, no pun intended. But 2 top 10s on the season out of the first 6 races, and really had a good shot at a podium, if not a win, at Talladega, as him and Kelly were running very well there before all the chaos started. But finds himself back there in 18th in points right now. Back in 4th in the bronze, actually 5th in the bronze standings. But I mean, all in all, I think this is a kind of an eye-opening series here for Dan Phelps, as you typically find him towards the back half, but he's certainly finding something this year. I'm not sure if it's the car itself with the Xfinity car, or he's just starting to gain a little bit more confidence, and it's just running multiple laps. I mean, Jimmy, you know it as well as I do, whether it's learning a track, learning a car, or just overall getting better, you can't replace laps.
Yeah, I know I feel better no matter what car I'm driving. If I've been on there with at least the track for X amount of time. I mean, we got we had a special event last weekend at Bathurst, and obviously it was way different from we didn't finish very well because of some incidents that happened, but it wasn't because we weren't comfortable with the track, and it wasn't we got caught up in accidents. I mean, unheard of. We were 22 meatballs of cars on lap 1. Okay, cool. So that's how Bathurst went for me and the CRN team, Derek Sherman and Larry Hensley. So yeah, it started off with a bang for sure, but it wasn't for the lack of not knowing the track. But you really feel comfortable going to these tracks. I've been at this track a few times. I drove the 87s here. I drove the Gen 4s here. I drove I think I've even driven the Xfinity here. We've done the old Indy cars here. I mean, there's like a throwback race, and I feel comfortable with this track, and I know that we can run well here. So it really doesn't matter where the car is. You have a big feel for the track, and each car runs obviously a little different, but you do feel that comfort knowing that you've been there before. So you heard them talk about Sonoma next week, and that it's a big challenge, to get these cars, Xfinity cars, do drive fairly well around a road course. I have had the experience of running some of the NASCAR cars around there. Last year I did the Gen 4 cars around Sonoma, and it is a challenge because I'm used to driving myself. I'm personally used to driving like a GT3 car. Well, these cars don't stop like that or turn like that. So, but it's just getting those marks down and knowing the track. But if you know the track, you know when the corner's coming up, you just got to adjust your braking and the entry to those corners per car, so so you can be competitive. So we'll see what drivers have the talent for the road stuff, and if not, maybe they park it. But either way, right now, Cody Hemingway is not looking to break it from anybody, but it looks like that lead's slightly starting to come down as Galen Lunch is starting to track him down.
Yeah, I think another thing with multiple laps, I mean, you can practice a track all you want, but once you finally get out there with other cars on the track, that's where the real test, and that's where all the learning comes into play. And and I think that's what Dan's getting a little bit more experience with this season, is just getting a little bit more comfortable driving around in the cars. I mean, we've seen multiple guys and girls, for that matter, in CORE have really, really great single run speed and, you know, qualifying speed and even in practice, but you get them out in the race and the nerves kind of go up a little bit, and that's when some of the mistakes start to happen, and you start falling to the back because you're just more comfortable kind of riding by yourself, and then all of a sudden you see those lap times start to get a little bit better. But I think you know, Dan and some of these other guys here are starting to just get a little bit more comfortable in the car and comfortable around others, and it's leading to some better finishes here. But another one on the move here, starting to get to the middle half of this race here. Middle half, yeah. Sure, that's a thing.
Sure.
It's Dakota Camper here. The 21 is starting to make his way through the field, up to 6th place now as he fell back early. Not sure, we didn't pick up what dropped him back in the field at the beginning, but now he is finally up 1 position as he started in 7th position, and he is up to 6th right now, and threatening him to get himself into the top 5. But yeah, Cody Hemingway's lead was out to over 5 seconds. It is down to half of that. 2.5 seconds now, the lead between Hemingway and Winch. How much of that is the 69 holding back and kind of saving those tires a little bit? How much is it trying to save a little bit of fuel? Because again, these guys hit on lap 16 for half the field. The other half of the field hit on lap 17. So obviously 17 times 3 is going to get you that 1 extra lap that you need to make it to the end. 16 times 3, you're going to be 2 laps short. So these guys that came in on 16 need to figure out something to be able to get them to the end, and you know, no better person than Cody Hemingway knows that, because he's been out front the entire time, has had no draft help. He's got nobody to try and break that air and be able to cruise in through some of these corners, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, obviously leading is a great thing, but if you're not leading at that checkered flag, it really doesn't matter, does it?
No, I mean, if you're not first, you're last, right? So, but yeah, he's just kind of riding on board with Cody. It definitely doesn't sound like he's lifting through the corners too much, besides, yeah, obviously letting to let the car rotate. So, might be doing just taking it easy. Maybe he's backing up his braking, or just nice and easy on the throttle, getting out. But I think he's saving just a little bit. I mean, I'm sure he can see that Galen is cruising in. Also, that you know, that closing time. You know, once you get as a driver trying to overtake somebody and catch up to somebody, and you start seeing that time come down, that could be pushing Galen once to burn up his tires a little bit more. So then when he gets within range, Cody could just drive away from him again. So kind of teasing him for the most part. So we'll see what those two drivers kind of come up with here, especially as Galen Wunsch has definitely closing him down, as he's now under 2 seconds to P1.
Yeah, about 0.6 of a second, almost 0.7 of a second faster on that last lap right there. Certainly closing him down and getting him faster on this one. And Wunsch would certainly love to have a good finish here with Foster now back there in 4th to try and close up that gap in the silver division. But we are getting close to the second round of pit stops here. Looks like Sean Dunaway is in pits already. Not sure if that was scheduled or if that was a bit early here. I think coming to lap 31 is certainly going to be too early to make it to the end. I mean, we've seen these guys stretch it out to lap 18 with Matt Crockett there in that first run, but you're asking for 19 laps there if you're Sean Dunaway, but it looks like actually he's been in there for quite some time. I haven't seen him come in, but he is now 6 laps down to the field. But we are now starting at lap 32, so we could see some guys coming in this time, but meanwhile, the lead is under a second, and Wunsch is certainly on the loud pedal, as he was almost a full second faster than Hemingway this time. So I mean, it may not sound like it, but I feel like Hemingway's probably trying to save a little bit, knowing that he's got a one more run here to make it to the end, and he does not want to have to pit and take a splash and go, because that will be the end of his run here for the win. But we'll see if he comes in this time or if he can stretch it out for one more. But whether he stretches that or not, I think that 199 is going to try to take the lead.
Yeah, 199 definitely pushing to get up and past the 69 of Cody Hemingway, but I believe Cody knows for a fact he needs to stretch that fuel. That last pit stop was probably one lap too early, and now is in conservation mode. We have 18 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line this time by, but I would start seeing probably see a few drivers go. But here's the pass for the 199 to take the lead.
Yeah, Hemingway not even putting up a fight as Winch goes to the inside. A new leader for the first time here tonight is going to be the 199 of Winch, and I would think we're probably going to see Hemingway in this time by, as it should put him inside the fuel window there with 17, but already dropping back. I mean, he's already back there 9/10 of a second. So, I mean, I don't think we missed any kind of issues there for Hemingway, but he has really backed this thing off, backed off the lead. I mean, he was, again, out to about 5.5 second lead. He's staying out there again, so he certainly wants to make sure he's making this thing one more pit stop. As you see on the right side of the screen, a lock up there for Winch coming in. Hopefully he got that thing down under the speed limit to come in there, but Winch is going to come in. It looks like Caleb Collins also coming in this lap. So the pit cycle is going to start. James Hudson also in pit lane. And these guys are going to try and make it to the end from here. And I think the guys that just came in this lap should be able to. The guys that are coming in from now on, I think, are in good shape, and they can run hard. And I think that's what Cody was looking for. You know, just sacrifice a little bit on that middle run, come in, get those tires, and make sure I can go just full bore that last run.
Yeah, hopefully doesn't have to conserve too much. You know, as they went like that first run, he wasn't really out there like a huge gap. But right now he is coming down pit lane for what should be his final pit stop. But obviously looking at clock time here, I'm gonna have to step out here soon. I'll still be on the headset, but I need to start making my way down to the plane to head over to Michigan for the UCRL series. And see what kind of race they can perform here tonight after CRN, excuse me, CORE.
Well, your new leader right now staying out for another lap is going to be the 37 of Tyler Kokeko. Going to stretch this thing out for one more. Certainly Matt Crockett going to do the same, as he's just coming by the front stretch right now. But the man right there behind Tyler Kokeko trying to take a look at who that is, and it's not for position, so the only ones that have yet to make their second pit stop are Tyler Kokeko and Matt Crockett, and I would assume Kokeko probably going to come in this time, but Cody Winch is going to end up inheriting the lead once again, and he's got a pretty sizable one right now over Cody Hemingway, as it is about 3.1 seconds here, all the way back to Hemingway. And I mean, looking at both of them, certainly a shorter pit stop there for Winch. I would think he took at least 2 tires, if not all 4. But I mean, about 2.5, almost 3 seconds faster was Winch in pit lane. So interesting to see how that plays out here, because that's basically the lead that he's got right now. And now Cody has him in his sights. This is going to be first and second right there on your screen this time by, as both Kokeko and Crockett will come down pit lane. We've got 15 laps to go here at Indianapolis, and I think it's a perfect time, since Jimmy's going to get everything set up over there, to turn the mics off here, crank these guys up, and give you all a little love to hear it. sights and sounds of the CORE Xfinity Series here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and seeing a battle here for the final spot in the top 5. Dakota Camper in the 21 has it, but the 12 of Dave Tilford trying to run him down here. They have another battle here coming up soon, and that is the 8 of Kevin Foster trying to get his way back into a podium spot here, battling it with Joe Sullivan right now, who is in 3rd. The gap for the lead was out to 3 seconds. It is no longer. It is 1 second here as we've got 9 laps to go, and Cody Hemingway is trying to hunt down Galen Wunsch. Obviously, he's got 1 lap newer tires, so not that big of a difference, but it could very well be 4 tires against 2 here, as again Wunsch having a quicker pit stop than Hemingway and got him out to a nice sized lead there, but that could have been only taking 2 tires. But either way, he's still at the point. He's still got a 1 second lead and doing everything he can to keep that 69 back there. Rest of the field pretty spread out. Give you a quick rundown as you got Galen Wunsch at the front, Cody Hemingway, Joe Sullivan, Kevin Foster, Dakota Camper, your top 5. Dave Tilford, Connor Gibson, Caleb Collins, James Hudson. We haven't really talked too much about here tonight, just cruising himself now up into the top 10 in 9th place. Tyler Kokeko rounding out the top 10. Dan Phelps in 11th. Dylan Picklesimmer, Matt Crockett, Eric Porter, Casey Phelps, your top 15 and on the lead lap. Cody Jacobs 1 lap down in 16th. Al Likens 1 lap down in 17th. And then Sean Dunaway 6 laps down in 18th, with Michael Deach retiring early in the race here as he is out and is going to finish in 19th position. But still a couple battles brewing here as you see him on the timing tower right now with the yellow intervals. That being the battle for 3rd between Sullivan and Foster. Dakota Camper and Dave Tilford, they're battling for 5th place. And looks like Al Likens now trying to get himself last minute here into the lucky dog position, getting around Cody Jacobs there. And you never know if this thing ends up having a late caution. Al Likens can get back on this lead lap and maybe pick up a couple positions. But real shame for that, again, for the 92 running up there in the top 3 before he had a pit road mistake and had to come back in and serve a penalty. Finds himself back there now in 16th position. Lead now for the first time in a while under 1 second as Hemingway is now down to 0.9. That's right about where you're starting to pick up that draft, and he could slowly start to reel in that 199. All depends on the traffic that Wunsch is going to be dealing with here, which isn't too much. He's got the 17 of Cody Jacob, or the 17 of Casey Phelps here coming up, and then the 79 of Eric Porter. But for the most part, it should be free and clear from there, but that lead is getting smaller by the second. You see in the background there, Dunaway having to come into the pits here to top off before the end of this thing, and could very well be calling this a night, as he is probably going to finish in 18th regardless. But all depends on how quickly Wunsch gets by these lap cars, I think, is really going to determine the win of this race or not. 6 laps to go here at Indy. Take a look back at another battle that's starting to form up here. This is back in the back half of the top 10. Hudson in 9th, Kokeko in 10th, but Kokeko's been on a nice little run right here, catching up to the back of the 90, looking for the pass here. And they're going to get a good run out of turn 2, get to the inside, and he's going to move himself up into 9th position. So good move there by the 37. Still no change in the top 5, as it is still Wunsch, Hemingway, Sullivan, Foster, and Camper. Dave Tilford still trying to catch up, keep up with Dakota Camper, but just not really making any kind of inroads right now. We got 5 laps to go here, and it's go time for sure right now. You need to put everything you got to the floor, and just falling further and further back. You see it looks like he might have kind of spent up his opportunity there with the 21 as Camper starting to pull away now, but Hemingway is the one that we have our eyes on, and now Wunsch has caught up to the lap traffic. You can see that time dropping faster and faster. Wunsch has got a little bit of a draft right now, so it certainly helps him there. But he's got to get around the 17 and get around quickly here. Looks to the inside going into turn 1, and Phelps going to back out, let him go by. We'll see how quickly now Hemingway can get on by as we've got 4 to go. Phelps was looking to just pull out of the way for Hemingway there, but now he moves back up, and Hemingway gets a little bit of a toe down into turn number 3. Closes the gap down to just under 0.6 of a second, but now climbing back up to about 0.7 as doing everything he can to reel in the 199, and certainly getting closer lap after lap here, as he's been about 1.5 to 2 faster. But now got a little bit of a gap until they catch up to the next lap car, that being the 79 of Eric Corder, as we still got 14 guys on the lead lap, but that 14th position could pay big dividends or potentially lose the race here for one of these 2 drivers. We'll see how it all plays out as we've got 3 to go. Time is ticking away. Wunsch would be more than happy to just not catch Corder at all, and hoping that Corder just finds some extra speed these last couple laps to just check out and not be in the way at all, as the lead is down to 6.5 right now, down to 0.6, down to 5.5, as the 69 is trying everything he can to catch up to the back, and it looks like, yeah, the 90 or the 79 is going to pull off to the side. Doesn't want to interfere with these guys at all, as both drivers are going to get by turn 1. 2 laps to go here. Only 5 miles left in this race. It is down to 5.5 of a second here between first and second. The other battle on the track is, well, right behind these guys. Casey Phelps now able to catch up to Eric Corder. This is the battle back here for 14th and 15th, and give a good run there to Casey Phelps to move up a position. This time by, we will see the white flag, and it is going to go to Galen Wunsch here. Will he be the one that comes around to see the checker flag down for a brief second, under 0.5 of a second, but not enough just yet for the 69 of Cody Hemingway to get back to the top spot. Wunsch has been close to victories a few times this season, but has yet to taste victory lane, as he has only got 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s in the first 6 races. But looking good to grab his maiden win here at Indianapolis. He's got about 2 miles left to do it. Lead down to 0.4 of a second, getting smaller. This thing may not be over just yet, as Hemingway catching up more and more. Down to 3.5, 0.35 going into the corner right there. Now down to 0.3. Can Hemingway make one last effort here down the front stretch? You know, Wunsch is going to do everything he can to block whatever he's going to do. But they come off the corner, and it is a drag race down to the line. It's a long, painful drive for Wunsch, but he's going to get it done here at Indianapolis. Your winner, the 199 of Galen Wunsch, by about a 1/4 second over Cody Hemingway there in second. Joe Sullivan going to come home in third. Kevin Foster in fourth. Dakota Camper will grab a top 5. Dave Tilford in sixth. Connor Gibson coming around. He is going to grab a 7th position. Caleb Collins in 8th. Tyler Kokeko in 9th. James Hudson going to round out your top 10. And then the rest of the field is going to be Dan Phelps, Dylan Picklesimmer, Matt Crockett, Casey Phelps, Eric Corder, Al Likens, Cody Jacobs, Sean Dunaway, and Michael Deach. What a finish there. It got very, very close, very tight for your top 2 positions right there, and ended up being a drag race related to the line, but just not enough for Cody Hemingway to get it done right there. But Fantastic race here at Indy. These guys go caution free, and sometimes that can be a little rough, especially for the guys back there. Like Al Likens would have loved to have a caution there to get his lap back, but unfortunately does not happen. But it is Galen Wench who will be able to celebrate here at Indy, as Kevin Foster would have loved to be in that top 3 with him, but just could not get it done right there. But he will. It looks like he'll help celebrate with him. But we'll try and get the top 3 in here quickly before we have to shift over, and I will join Jimmy over there for the UCRL race, and that is going to be at Michigan. Looks like we do have our top 3, so we'll start off with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be the 76 of Joe Sullivan. And Joe, all in all, I think a pretty good run for you, as we've seen you making a lot of passes. It seemed like passes were kind of at a bit of a premium here, as catching a guy was one thing, but making the pass, whether it was on the inside or the outside, was kind of difficult here tonight.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you just had to be that much faster than somebody to try to get a run on them, or just try to time it right with the draft and try to make your pass coming out of the turns there. Yeah, we had to fight back there. I don't know if you caught it on the broadcast there, but like when we started the race there, we all got backed up, and I was the victim. Well, not the victim, but like I caught the worst of that, and I fell back to like 10th or something like that. I don't know, I was way back there. So we were just trying to call back up there. I think if that wouldn't have happened, I think we would have had a different outcome here tonight. We had some speed here tonight.
Yeah, definitely seen some kind of a mix up there, and seen a lot of names drop back towards the back half of the top 10 or even out of it. But yeah, you make a good run to come back here, and your first top 5 of the season. So I mean, it feels like you've had more speed than you've kind of shown in the standings, but it's got to feel good to finally grab that first podium here.
Oh, definitely. It's been. I mean, like we've been okay. It just haven't gone our way, I guess you could say. It's just been one of those seasons, I guess, but we've had speed, so I mean that's all you can really ask for. And I felt really good. I'm really comfortable with this track, so I felt really good coming in tonight and tried a couple things. I actually found something during that second run that's gonna, I think, help me going forward. Find a little bit of I guess end of the run speed there. I found something there, so I'll take that. And like I say, I always try to learn something during every race, whether I'm watching, broadcasting, or racing. You try to learn something, and I think I learned something there, so we'll take that and put it in our book, and we'll try to get them next time.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly worked out nice here for you tonight, and it wasn't easy, as Indy's one of those places where you have to be aggressive, but you can't be too aggressive. You're going to burn up that right front. I mean, how were the tires handling the track out here tonight? It seemed to be a little bit hotter.
Yeah, I burned my right front up on that first run, trying to get all that back that I'd lost on that start, and really chewed up the right front. And then that's towards the end of that second run, that's where I found something. And then that last run, it made a dramatic difference on my tires. I went from 70% on the right front to 80 on that last run. So found something there. So it's like all about taking care of that right front here. I mean, and just try to time your moves right and not try to get bogged down too much behind somebody.
Well, you get it done here. You crack through for your first top 5 and your first podium of the season. The next few races get a little bit trickier, obviously, with Sonoma.
Next week's going to be a blast, Carl.
I mean, you are the road course guru, so I definitely look to you for for the interesting moments. We'll just say that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be the off tracks.
Well, at least you get it done here tonight, so you don't have to worry about trying to get it done next week. But either way, congrats on the podium here tonight. Anybody want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I just give a shout out to you guys up there in the booth for putting this on, and everybody at CORE, and all the drivers out here tonight, and everybody watching on CRN. We'll take this third, and maybe we'll get some momentum for going next week. So we're getting better on the road, so you never know.
Exactly, picking up your first official win. Never know. You ride the momentum.
Yeah, you never. Well, I'm riding the train. Let's go.
Exactly. All right. Well, congrats here on the finish here tonight, and we'll see you next week at Sonoma.
All righty.
That is your third place finish here tonight, the 76 of Joe Sullivan. Now we'll bring in our second place man here, Cody Hemingway, in the 69. And Cody, it looked like you had this thing under wraps halfway through the race. You got to a big lead, and then late in that first run, it looked like, or the second run, I should say, looked like you're really holding back. I'm assuming just doing a little fuel saving so you can go hard in that last run. Do you regret saving maybe just a little bit too much there? Or what do you think you could have done differently to get this thing done?
No, I actually saved the right amount, perfect amount. I just didn't think Galen had it at all. Like the whole run, I knew he pitted a lap before me, and I was like, there's no way saving a whole lap's going to be feasible running the speed he ran. But sure enough, he did it. Coming to the last lap, I was expecting him to pit, and he stayed in it, and there was just too much of a gap for me to, I was too far on my heels to try and make a move on him. So kind of kicking myself for that one. But all in all, I guess second place is, as best as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not bad at all. You kept all the other Gold Division drivers behind you, and you stretch out the lead here going into the final three races. But I mean, you definitely had a feel for the track here tonight. You're running really well. Obviously, you got the pole, but then you checked out pretty early from everybody. What was it about Indy that just kind of fit your driving style here tonight?
I don't really know, to be honest. I like I feel like I'm really comfortable, sliding out of the corner, getting close to the wall. I don't know if that's where my speed is or if that's where people were just decided to try and save fuel. I don't know. I thought midway through the first run when I was checking out, I kept thinking in the back of my head, like, is everyone else just saving and I'm just wasting my fuel? Because I knew it was going to be close on fuel. So I don't know. I guess just like the track. I got a lot of time on it. So lap time, I guess.
Just wondering, the only thing, and unfortunately not going to be able to interview Galen here tonight. It looks like maybe we'll try and bring him in for next week, but it looks like his pit stop was about almost 3 seconds quicker than you. So, I mean, is it possible that he only took right tires on that last pit stop there, and that's what the advantage gave him?
Yeah, that could have been. I didn't even think about that. That could have been, yeah, definitely could have been it. Something I usually do. I don't know why I didn't do that this time, but hey, didn't think about that. But hey, good for him. Good win.
Well, either way, I mean, second place, it may not feel that great, considering how well you drove here tonight. You probably felt like you should have had a win there, but in the grand scheme of things, second place is pretty well here for the points, and you head into Sonoma next week. As we talked about, you're looking forward to Sonoma, and there's probably only going to be a handful of guys at most that are actually looking forward to Sonoma. So, do you feel like that's your chance to really kind of stretch out this lead?
Well, I mean, no. I don't want to get looking forward confused with being good.
Okay, all right.
I'm probably going to be in the wall, but I'm just looking forward to going on the roller coaster.
Absolutely. Well, you get it done here tonight to grab a podium at least. I mean, regardless, it's still a good run here, and congrats on the second place. Anybody want to give a shout out to one more time before we let you go?
I just want to give a shout out to you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast, awesome league, great season, good group of guys. My wife, my daughter, just everyone.
All right. Well, congrats again, and we'll see you next week out there in California.
Sounds good.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 69 of Cody Hemingway. Another great race put on by these guys here in the CORE Xfinity Series. 50 laps caution-free out here tonight, and ended up with a quarter second separating the top two guys. So, I mean, you can't really get much better than that, but Galen Winch is the one that gets it done here tonight. We'll try and bring him in next week before the race here at Sonoma. But that is going to do it here. We're going to hop over to UCRL and join Jimmy, so hopefully you guys do as well. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that like and subscribe to help us out over here at CRN. But for myself and Jimmy here at Indianapolis, we'll see you at the track.